A talent for innovation and a deep love of the land often inherited from generations that came before. Now these are traits shared by many a successful farmer from East Coast to West. Take for instance two brothers in the Southwest who share Native American blood and have built a prosperous seed business through the creative use of aircraft. I caught up with them on the ground in Clovis, New Mexico.
When you focus on natives, it's an effort to keep nature, frankly, in balance.
He's talking about natives, indigenous plants that are hardier, withstanding the ravages of drought, disease, and fire, better than introduced or non-native species. Brothers Ty and Blake Curtis own Curtis & Curtis Seed Company in Clovis, New Mexico. The two inherited their passion for plants from their mother, who was part Cherokee.
Well, I think it's passed on from generation to generation to some extent. My mother had this wonderful love for plants, and she shared that love with me as a child. I know she did with Blake and my sister.
The company supplies native grass, grain, and wildflower seed for residential use and to farmers in park districts. They specialize in plant seed that has evolved over centuries, such as New Mexico feathergrass, a kissing cousin to another native called needle and thread.
As the sun warms this plant up in the day, the spirals actually untwist. The tail catches on the top of the ground, and then as it cools down in the evening, it typically just screws itself in the ground and plants itself all the way up to the shank.
The grass and flower seeds are left outside to dry. Inside the warehouse, the seed is separated from sticks and stems by machine. Blake's son, TJ, shows us a mound of a popular native grass seed called black grama. How much seed would this pile right here produce, for example?
The planting rate on black grama is about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds per acre. We'll probably get 1,000 pounds out of this, so it'll cover...
Just out of this pile?
Yes.
Tons of seed for grass, flowers, forage, revegetation, and reforestation move out of this warehouse every year. Highway departments and the U.S. Forest Service are big customers, preferring to replant with natives for better erosion and fire control. The Curtis brothers don't grow their own native stock. They scour the western states looking for it. Finding the native grasses to harvest the seed can be a challenge with so much area to cover. Driving is virtually impossible. Plus, it's very hard to see what you're looking for from ground level. So the best way to do it is right here, by air.
Clear prop.
Visibility more than 10. Sky condition clear below 12,000. Temperature 14 Celsius.
You can identify native grasses from the air?
Yes. We look for color, we look for texture, and we look for purity. And once we think we found that, then we'll go back and find the landowner, visit with them, and make some kind of a purchase agreement so that we can harvest, process, and then take to market that product.
The Curtis brothers and TJ log hundreds of hours in their high-flying quest for native plants. And as misfortune would have it, only one mishap in their small fleet of planes in spring of '06.
I was recently on the way back from Las Cruces and hit 21,000 feet when we did have radical engine failure in one of our airplanes. And it was quite an exciting experience. Fortunately, I was by myself, and I was fortunate enough to be able to land on a highway 4 miles south of a place called Hope, New Mexico. So when all else fails, there is hope.
At one time, much of North America was blanketed with resilient, life-sustaining native grasses. Over time, we've replaced them with plants that are less hardy, more susceptible to disease, fire, and erosion. And even worse, with non-native plants that can overrun entire regions. The Curtis brothers say they hope that their company and others like it will encourage people to think native when they buy that next bag of seed.